Hi everyone, it's Scott here from That's English School 英語研究プロジェクト。よくある間違いを分析します。Recommend の話ですね。そもそも英語では、日本語みたいにそこまで使う回数が少ないような気がしますね。あくまでこれは自分の個人的な感覚と言いますか。よくよく考えてみると、海外では人気なものを避けたい方が多いから、人気だから面白くない。自分で決めたい。自分でいいものを見つけたい。みんなと同じことをやりたくない。なんとなく recommend という言葉自体を聞くとイラッとする方がいるぐらい。天の弱というんですかね。自分にもよく言われます。後から損するタイプというのかな。例えばすごい人気なお店がありまして、店の前で長い行列ができて絶対に入りたくないです。あとはですね、メニューに書いてある人気メニューとか、おすすめとか、それはちょっと怪しいかなと思う時もあります。人気アイテムとか大体そういうのはね、一番利益が出るものです。怪しくないですか？ So let's investigate the word recommend in more detail. First, we'll look at the problem and then the reason, the solution, and finish off with some example sentences. Okay, let's get this show on the road. First, let's look at the problem. My recommend movie is Totoro. My recommend movie is Totoro. This sentence is screaming to be fixed. It's begging me. But the funny thing is, I hear this kind of sentence at least once a week. My recommend restaurant. What's your recommend place in the UK? My recommend hotel. Now, there's definitely something wrong. There are so many movies on Netflix. Yeah, I've seen so many of them. Oh yeah? My recommend movie is Totoro. Your recommend movie? Yes. Something wrong? No, nothing at all. So, some of you may be guilty of using recommend like this. In the next section, we're gonna fix it for good. When you realize why it's a problem, it'll change your English forever. Yes, forever. First, we've got to talk about the basics. Let's get this straight. Recommend is a verb. Recommendation is a noun. So, straight from the get-go, if you say, my recommend movie is Totoro, you're using recommend like some kind of weird adjective. It just doesn't make any sense at all. It's like saying, my like movie is Totoro. Pretty jarring, right? The best way to say it would be, my recommendation is Totoro. I recommend you to watch Totoro. I recommend watching Totoro. That's fine, but you know what? It still sounds a bit funny. A wee bitty formal. To be honest, people don't really use the words recommend or recommendation very much in daily conversation. Wait a minute, Scott. In Japanese, we always say おすすめの映画。おすすめは何ですか? Yeah, I fully realize that, but if you want to sound as natural as possible, you'd be better off saying something else. Does that mean we never use recommend? Of course not. But we just don't use it so much in casual conversation. We see it used quite a lot in online shopping on Amazon. Amazon recommends for you from our brands. But it's interesting, big American companies like Amazon, Prime Video, same company, Netflix, So the original language is in English, but when they put it in Japanese, they had to make a few tweaks. Here's an example from Amazon Prime Video. So in the English website, we can see subscriptions you might like. They didn't use the word recommend. In Japanese, they worded it like this. おすすめ登録チャンネル. How about this one from Netflix? In the English website, we see top picks for you. Again, they didn't use the word recommend. But in Japanese, it says あなたにぴったりのおすすめ作品. It's interesting to compare, don't you think? So don't get me wrong, it is okay to use the words recommend or recommendation, but just in moderation. Having said that, I think it's way better to use these 3 magic phrases. Number 1, you should watch Totoro. It's so great. There are so many movies on Netflix. Yeah, I've seen so many of them. Oh yeah? You should watch Totoro. Is it good? One of my all-time favorites. I'll have to check it out. Number 2, you shouldn't miss Totoro. It's such a masterpiece. I think I'm gonna watch a movie this weekend. You mean at home? Yeah, on Netflix, I guess. You shouldn't miss Totoro. It's a classic. I've never seen it before. Watch it. You'll thank me later. Number 3, you have got to watch Totoro. It's amazing. Any good ideas for something to watch? Have you seen Totoro? Can't say I have. Is it worth a watch? You have got to watch Totoro. What's so good about it? Everything. The story, the animation, the soundtrack. So good. Why do I keep talking about Totoro? It's my favorite Ghibli movie. I wanted to show you some pictures of Totoro, but I'm a little scared of copyright infringements. So here's a drawing instead. Let's go. Wow. Now, you will find that there are some situations where people use recommend more often than others. Probably in restaurants or hotels. You know, customer service. What pasta dish do you recommend? I recommend the carbonara. Can you recommend any good places to go? The Science Museum is very popular. In those cases, they're being very formal. It's that kind of situation. But in daily conversation with your friends, you'd be better off using one of the 3 magic phrases I talked about before. You should, you shouldn't miss, and you have got to. Let's take a look at 5 example sentences. Here's the first one. My mate told me I should try the new beef bowl at Sukiya. So I went and completely pigged out. What a great expression, to pig out. So it means to eat so much that your belt is about to burst off. I must admit that I am occasionally guilty of pigging out on pizza. You have got to see the new Super Mario Bros. Movie. It's just plain, good old-fashioned fun. What do you reckon about places to see in London? There are loads of places, but you shouldn't miss Little Venice. It's a hidden gem of London. So if something is a hidden gem, it's like somewhere that the tourists usually don't go. Only the locals know about it. Little Venice in London is great because you can walk along the beautiful canals for mile after mile, and maybe you can have lunch on a canal boat. You should steer clear of the food stalls. If you go to India, you might end up with Delhi belly. Where do you think I should go in Japan? Let me know in the comments. I'm really looking forward to hearing your suggestions. The next video just for you is this one right here. It's about pet names, but it's got nothing to do with pets.